Sometimes it takes you being fed up with yourself, completely fed up with who you've been, how your reality looks, how you've been thinking, the outcomes and circumstances that you keep experiencing. You get fed up with it, and then you just decide enough is enough. So now you're going to be consistent. You're going to do what you know to do. Now that you're here, before we start the video, I would like to invite you, if you haven't done so already, to come and join the free Discord community that I created, and to also grab your free copy of the Manifest Your Dream Life ebook. The link for both of those will be in the description below. Other than that, let's go ahead and get into the video. Happy Monday, y'all. So on today's Monday motivation, I really want to make a focus on challenges, okay? I feel like whenever you all, some of you all, not everybody, but I feel like sometimes when you sign up to do a manifestation challenge, whether it's a 24-hour challenge, a 7-day challenge, 14-day, 30-day, whatever amount of time that the challenge is, I feel like sometimes when you sign up to do these challenges, you are signing up for it with a different mindset. And I want to just motivate you all to have a different perspective moving forward whenever you participate in challenges, because I understand when you sign up for the challenge, yes, in your mind, you're like, okay, I'm going to get my manifestation at the end of this 14-day challenge, and that's just what it's going to be. But then when you get to the end of the 14-day challenge, if your manifestation is not seemingly there and it's not in your physical reality, then you start to complain, you start to waver, you start to say how it's not working. It didn't work. I didn't get my manifestation within X amount of time. And that's just not how I want you all to move. Like, I don't want you all to be that way when it comes to you manifesting using challenges and stuff. Because in my opinion, a challenge is just allowing you to consistently show up as the version of yourself who has what you want right now for an extended period of time. And a challenge is meant to hold you accountable. A challenge is meant for you to show up for yourself daily, where you may have just been affirming sporadically or doing your manifestation technique sporadically, randomly throughout your day. Doing a challenge actually gives you foundation. It gives you structure, because you know what your method is going to be that you're going to use for the duration of the challenge. You know what your affirmations are going to be. You know what your visualization is going to be if you're doing that. You know what routine you're going to follow, and you're going to do this consecutively for however long the challenge is for. And the thing is, that's why, again, I created the consistency and discipline workshop, because consistency is what gives you the results. Like, in the beginning, wherever you're at, because you're not learning how to manifest. You don't have to learn how to manifest and be a powerful creator and a master manifestor. You don't learn how to do that because you're already naturally that person. Your reality literally reflects whatever you are assuming. But what consistency allows you to do is it allows you to consistently show up as the version of yourself who does have what you want. Consistently think as that version, imagine as that version, and consistently stop being the version of you who doesn't have what you want, who's constantly complaining, looking for a problem. Like, you're consistently not identifying as that version of yourself and only being the version of yourself who has what you want. That's what a challenge is for. That's what a routine is for. That's what consistency is for, because yes, I do believe for a lot of you, you will reach a point where you're not going to need any of this stuff. You're not going to need to do a challenge. You're not going to need to, focus on a routine and be consistent and be aware of being consistent, because it will be natural to you. But because you are used to, and what's natural to you is being consistently the version of you who doesn't have what you want, you naturally think those thoughts. Those are your dominant thoughts. Those are your reoccurring thoughts. That is the consistency. Like, you're just effortlessly consisting as being that version. You're always being consistent in some type of way. You're being consistent as someone who doesn't have what they want, who is always complaining about their reality, complaining about not having their desire, complaining about their SP, complaining about money. You're consistently doing that. You're consistently acknowledging your reality and saying that it doesn't have what you want. So you're constantly repeating to your subconscious what you don't have. Consistency is where you get the results. In my opinion, that's just what it is. You're going to get results from whatever you are consistently repeating. Until it becomes a belief that you no longer have to repeat, you're being consistent with something. So stop being consistent as the version of you who doesn't have what they want, and learn how to be consistent as the version who does have what they want. And again, that's where the routine, that's where challenges come into play, because it's allowing you to show up for that version of yourself consistently. So I want to talk about why you may be struggling with challenges. Just why do you feel like whenever you do a challenge, it's not working and you don't get your results? And the first thing that I want to point out to you is that whenever you are signing up to do a challenge, you are basically signing up because you're expecting your manifestation to happen in that specific time frame, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you can absolutely expect your manifestation to appear within 7 days, 14 days, 30 days, instantly. It's totally fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with assuming that version of you and assuming that your desires show up in the time frame that you want them to show up. But the thing is, if it doesn't show up, you are still to assume that version of you who experienced it in the time frame that you wanted it. That's like the shift that you need to make. Stop going into a challenge, and the moment your challenge ends and you don't see what you want, you are now deciding, oh, well, this didn't work for me. Well, now what are you implying? You are implying that the challenge didn't work. Next time you go to do a challenge, that's going to seemingly seem like it doesn't work because that's what you're persisting in. With manifestation, it is being consistent and persisting in the unseen anyway. And you're doing that regardless as well. You're always persisting in the unseen, because if you're complaining and griping about something that you don't see in your reality yet, you're manifesting it, but you're also persisting in it even though you can't see it. You're complaining about your SP, you're complaining about the money, you're complaining about the job that you interviewed for that you think you're not going to get. You're just being consistent in the unseen. Manifestation is you having faith in the unseen. So regardless, the point is to have faith of it working in your favor. Like, everything is always working in your favor. If you assume that, then that's what it has to be. So assume that everything is always working in your favor no matter what. Especially when the challenge ends. Don't immediately go into the version of yourself that is like, well, it didn't work, so now what am I supposed to do? I still don't have my manifestation. I still don't have my SP. I still don't have the money. I still don't have what I want. My reality doesn't look the way that I want it to look. That's, in my opinion, the issue. When you do the challenge, you are signing up to indefinitely be this version of yourself. The challenge is like your training wheels. It's getting you started. It's allowing you, helping you to build that momentum of being that version of yourself. So then, yes, by the end of the challenge, no matter how long the challenge is for, by the end of the challenge, it should be easier for you to be consistent in thought. It should be easier for you to just naturally wake up and assume that you are that version of yourself who does have what you want right now. And I intend that makes sense, and that's like clicking for you all. And there's also nothing wrong with doing a challenge to get something, because we all know, like, we're all aware that you desire something, and then to experience that thing that you desire, you must see it in your imagination first. And yes, if it's something that you have labeled as hard, impossible, or you have some type of emotional attachment to it, yes, we know that you want to keep showing up for yourself, keep being consistent in thought, keep telling yourself that you have this thing right now. Consistency is the key. So it's okay to know that by me doing this challenge, it's because I want to experience this thing. But the second shift that you want to have is, I have this thing. I have this desire. It's okay to know, by me saying these affirmations, by me doing these visualizations, by me doing this scripting, that means I'm going to get what I want. There's nothing wrong with that. But inevitably be that version of yourself. Inevitably be that version. So even if it doesn't show in the physical reality just yet, that doesn't mean that it's not there. It doesn't mean that it's not yours. It doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. It means you keep being that version of yourself who does have it, because you're going to know when you no longer need to affirm. You're going to know when you have finally just accepted the fact that your desires are yours. It is yours right now, and there's nothing other than that you have to assume. So I want you all to not lose faith ever whenever you're doing a challenge, whenever you are deciding that you're going to manifest something, don't lose faith in the fact that this thing is already yours, okay? Because I get it. You can, again, sign up to do a challenge. You do the 14-day challenge. You feel like you affirmed and you showed up for yourself and you persisted and you did everything that you needed to do correctly. And by the 14th day, by the 30th day, you didn't see your results. That does not mean, again, that you're not going to have it. Like, there's so much emphasis that I want to put on that. You want to continue to have faith and persist. That is it. You are persisting because it is a lifestyle. It's just who you are. You are training yourself to think that way. You are training yourself to consciously direct your thoughts. That's what you're doing here. And your challenges and your routines are helping you to stay in that state of being. It's helping you to stay accountable. It's helping you to show up for yourself. So don't allow it to make you feel defeated. Don't allow it to make you feel like you're incapable, because you're more than capable of creating whatever it is that you want to experience. Like, literally, take a look at your reality. Look at what is in your reality right now and correlate it to the thoughts that you have been thinking. They, I'm pretty sure, are cohesive and they go together. And to get to a new reality, a new state of being, you just have to imagine yourself there with whatever method you choose. And again, your challenges are going to help you to remain being that version of yourself. So the biggest motivation here is don't allow it to make you feel defeated and make you feel like you can't do it and it's not working and it doesn't work for you, because everything is an assumption. Everything is a affirmation, because it's all thought. It's all coming from thought. So when you catch yourself thinking these thoughts of how it doesn't work, and you see other people getting results from their challenges, but you never get results from yours, then you need to tell yourself you always get your manifestations by the end of your challenge. You always get results from your challenge. Challenges work so good for you. You can manifest anything when you do challenges. That's the version of you that you want to be. That's the state of being that you want to assume, and no longer assume the version of yourself who the challenge isn't working for. And remember, just because you don't see movement, it doesn't mean nothing is working. Like, everything is always working in your favor. Just because you can't see it, just because your reality isn't reflecting anything, doesn't mean nothing is happening. Things are always moving and things are always working in your favor. So even if you start a challenge and you said, oh, okay, so I've been affirming for 3 days and I don't see anything changing. I don't see nothing moving. My SP still isn't contacting me. I don't have money overflowing in my bank account. The job still hasn't called me. My kids are still not behaving the way that I want them to. My friends are not showing up for me the way that I want them to. And it's been 3 days and I've been being consistent. Keep being consistent. Like, you're expecting, yes, an instant manifestation, and there's nothing wrong with that. But have you assumed that you are that version of yourself yet? Have you assumed that you get things instantly? Have you assumed that things happen fast for you? Because if not, you just need to still be consistent. You still need to be consistent. And do it the duration of the challenge. And even once the challenge is finished, you should decide that you are still going to continue to be that version of yourself, right? It's like you're getting on a bicycle and you start pedaling and you start pedaling, and it's like you getting in the motion, you're building that momentum. You don't instantly go the speed of light when you start riding a bicycle. You're like building that momentum, you're building that speed, and then at some point you're going so fast and you're just going, going, going. It's the same thing here. And I'm not saying that you can't get your stuff instantly, right when you want it, right when you decide so, because you absolutely can. But you also need to assume that you are that version of yourself as well. You need to assume that things happen instantly for you. You need to assume that things happen fast for you, because if you're constantly complaining about how long things take, and then you start a challenge and you affirm for 3 days, and then you're looking for results and you're like, where's my stuff at? I don't see it. Those two just don't go together. That's like hot and cold, right? Oil and water, those two do not go together. So if you are going to be the person who wants to check your reality and wants to look for stuff and you want things to happen fast, then you need to assume that you are that version of yourself. Like, every type of assumption, identity, thought, whatever that does not benefit you, I want you to let it go. I want you to practice on letting it go, because those things can feel so natural to you and so real that it just feels like it's a part of you and that's just who you are, and it's not. It's because you keep allowing that to be your identity, because you keep allowing those thoughts to dictate who you are. Stop allowing the opposing thoughts to dictate who you are and what's possible for you. Okay? Because It's all about your perception. It's all about what you're assuming. It's all about you. And the moment you realize that you're limiting yourself, that's when you need to let go of that stuff. Let go of it. Like, challenge yourself, but challenge yourself in a motivating way. Challenge yourself to just be that version of yourself. Okay? Yes, it's so beautiful to be like, you know what, I'm going to do this challenge and I'm going to get what I want in 14 days. And that's fine. But challenge yourself to just be that version. Challenge yourself to just think as the version who has what they want. I'm no longer going to think these thoughts for the next 14 days. Because the way you get rid of opposing thoughts, negative, intrusive, limiting thoughts and beliefs, the way you get rid of that stuff is to not associate with it anymore, not give it your attention, not focus on it. That's how you get rid of it. And by you focusing and being consistent on whatever challenge you're doing, that's the easiest way you can do it in the beginning. And it's just like training wheels, and I've said that before. It's like training wheels. The routine, the challenges, it helps you build that momentum. And then once you get going, once you know exactly how to direct your thoughts and you don't need the assistance, you don't need none of that, you don't really need the challenge unless you just want to do it. You will reach that point of being. You will be that version of yourself. But it takes you deciding that you want to do it, deciding that you're going to be that version. Sometimes it takes you being fed up with yourself, completely fed up with who you've been, how your reality looks, how you've been thinking, the outcomes and circumstances that you keep experiencing. You get fed up with it, and then you just decide enough is enough. So now you're going to be consistent. You're going to do what you know to do. It's different for everybody. But the thing is, show up for yourself. Show up for yourself. That's all you have to do. And stop assuming that a challenge isn't going to work or that you're not going to get your manifestation ever because you didn't get it within the time frame of a challenge. That's not what you want to be. That's not who you want to be. That's not who you want to assume yourself as. So just to give you some pieces of motivation for the next time that you participate in a challenge, because we will be having a money challenge coming soon. I will be posting that soon for you all. But whenever you decide to participate in another challenge, here's some things that I just want to motivate you all with. First thing is, go into the challenge knowing that your results and your success is inevitable. It's going to happen. It's already happened. Don't go into it thinking, well, I might not get it because it didn't work last time. Well, I persisted and did the challenge for 30 days and I still didn't get my results. No. Next time you participate in a challenge, go into it knowing that your success is guaranteed. It is already yours. It's already happened. And you're just thinking as the version. You are embodying the version who has it. And when I say embody, I just simply mean in your imagination. You don't have to act as if. You don't have to feel it real unless that resonates with you and you decide to do so. But when I say embody, I really just mean in the imagination, in thought. Be that version of yourself. Because your success is guaranteed if you assume so, right? Everything that you experience is based on your own assumptions. So assume that your success is guaranteed with whatever challenge that you do. You always get results. You always see success. You're a success story every single time you do a challenge. And the last thing that I want to motivate you on the next time you do a challenge is don't give up. Right? I already had a video on not giving up because you're never giving up on your manifestation. Don't give up halfway through the challenge. Just because you missed a day during the challenge doesn't mean you can't pick back up the next day. It doesn't matter. Don't give up. Don't get discouraged. Don't allow not seeing movement, feeling and believing that nothing is working during the challenge to dictate how you feel and to make you be unmotivated and make you be the version of yourself who feels like it's not going to work and now you just want to give up and you quit the challenge midway through right before it's over. No, don't do that. The next challenge that you persist in, that you partake in, I want you to stay consistent. Okay? If you feel like you are getting discouraged, if you are feeling unmotivated, if you're feeling like it's not working, then show up for yourself even more. Okay? Be aware of who you're being. Be aware of what you're thinking and be like, no, Absolutely not. That is no longer who I am. This challenge worked for me. It's gonna work for me. It always works for me. Like whatever resonates, do that because that is who you are. You get to decide who you are. You get to decide what your reality looks like. You get to decide what works and what doesn't work for you. Nobody else can. The most powerful thing, the most powerful tool, the most powerful manifestation method is whatever you decide on, not what anybody else says. So, even with a challenge, you can make any challenge work for you, benefit you. But don't allow yourself to get discouraged. Don't allow yourself to complain and waver all the way through the challenge and feeling like nothing is working because it's all about what you're assuming. So, I want you all to see success. I want you to see whatever it is, experience whatever it is that you want whenever you do participate in challenges. So, with the next challenge that you do, I want you to be a different version of yourself. If this previous challenge or any challenge prior to that you realize you complained, you wavered, you were looking for movement, you felt unmotivated, you gave up, you're not going to be that version of you no more. You're letting that go. You're leaving it in the past, in the last challenge. Leave it with all of that, okay? And only decide that you are going to show up for yourself. You're going to be consistent. You're going to assume that it worked because it does. You're going to assume that your success is guaranteed by the end of the challenge. And no matter what it looks like when the challenge is over, you still show up as that version of yourself. Because if you persisted for however long a challenge is, and by the time the challenge is over, whether your manifestation became physical or not, it's so much easier for you to consistently be that version of you who has it. And when you are just consistently that version of you who has it, and you're not looking for your manifestation, you're not checking your reality for it, you're not complaining, wavering, wondering where it's at, you're just being the version who has it, naturally, it finds you. Your manifestation literally finds you in the most natural way. You don't have to do a thing. You don't have to lift a finger. All right. So I intend that gives you some type of motivation. I intend that you are excited and pumped up to do another manifestation challenge because they're fun. They help you to get in the routine of being this version. Like they can only benefit you. Things can only benefit you. And I really want y'all to see success in every area of your life with whatever it is that you're deciding on. All right. So if you have any questions or comments for me, please leave them down below. I know I have not been the best at responding to comments, but I'm actually going to take some time over the next couple of days to sit down and go through as many of the comments as I can. If you are interested in getting any assistance with your manifestations, I do offer phone and email coaching, and I also have a membership. The link is in the description below, and I just want to explain the email coaching real quick. If you are thinking about signing up for email coaching, or if you have already signed up for email coaching, the way that it works is I have two different packages. I have a 5 email package and I have a 10 email package. And no matter what day you sign up, from the day that you sign up, allow me up to 7 days to respond to you because right now, currently, that is my doable time frame where I can get back to you. Sometimes it's very hard for me to get back to emails in the same day because I have so much stuff going on, so many tasks, just life. So no matter what day you sign up for coaching, allow me 7 days, excluding Saturday and Sunday, because I do not respond to emails on Saturdays and Sundays. I respond to emails Monday through Friday. Okay. So just to lay that picture out, if you were to sign up for email on a Thursday, right? Then Friday, I don't do Saturday and Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, back to Monday. Okay. So that following Monday is when you should expect to hear a response from me. Basically, whatever day you send me an email, I will respond within 7 days, excluding Saturday and Sunday. You don't have to message me. You don't have to email me to let me know that you signed up. And I haven't responded yet if it has not been the 7 days yet. So if it's past 7 days, then yes, you can feel free to reach out to me. Maybe let me know, hey, I sent you an email. I signed up for email coaching. I haven't got a response yet. But if it is before the 7 days, There's no need to, okay? I also have a signature in the email, and I will update that signature if it ever changes. So if it becomes a point where I am not able to get back to emails and it's going to take me 14 days, I will change it and you will see it in my signature. The last thing that I want to say is when you do finally send your email, when I start the email coaching thread for you, I reach out to you first. And once we are in communication through the email, once you send an email, if you send another one, it is going to bump you to the very end. So make sure you try to put everything that you need, all the details in the email at one time, because if you send an email and then you send another one after that, like a day later, it's going to bump you to the very end because I start from the bottom for whoever sent their emails in first, and I go in order. So you don't want to lose your place in line, because then that makes it longer that you have to wait for your response. And also, the last thing that I want to say is once the coaching begins, please keep all of the responses in the same email thread, because it gets so confusing for me whenever you start a new thread and I have no previous messages to go off of. I have to figure out what we've talked about. I have to go back and look through my emails to figure out what number email this is for you. Like, I like to keep everything organized. So once we start the thread, please make sure that you only email me within the thread, because it's going to take longer for a response, because I have to go find other things that we talked about, count up the emails, and it's a hassle. So let's just keep it all in one place. If you have questions about the email coaching or phone coaching in general, you can leave me a message down below in the comments and I will definitely respond to you. Other than that, if you watch this video until the end, I appreciate you so much, and I will see y'all in the next video.